centuries, India was under British rule, which had a profound impact on the country's politics, economy, society, and culture. Before India gained independence in 1947, the country was characterized by foreign rule, economic exploitation, social inequality, cultural suppression. Despite these challenges, India's struggle for independence was marked by courage, resilience, and determination. The Indian independence movement, led by visionaries like Mahatma Gandhi, ultimately succeeded in freeing India from British rule on August 15, 1947.
We all know that the freedom we enjoy in our country, India, is not what we always had. We were under the rule of Britishers for many years. A lot of leaders, freedom fighters, and common men underwent personal tragedies and sacrifices, and yet fought against British and gained us independence. Unfortunately, the younger generation is unaware of the sacrifices and tragedies of our ancestors.
Today, we have, by means of a visualization, tried to present some of the major events related to the freedom struggle. If we are able to convey about the sacrifices made by our ancestors, even to a few people of the modern generation, we have succeeded in our intention.
First, we are presenting Champaran Satyagraha. The Champaran Satyagraha movement was the first Satyagraha movement led by Gandhiji in India. It was a farmers' uprising who protested against having to grow indigo with barely any payment for it. Rajkumar Shukla, an indigo cultivator from Champaran, came to see Gandhiji to lead the movement against exploitation of farmers in the region. Gandhiji noticed that under the thin Katya system, the Champaran tenant farmer was bound by law to plant 3 out of every 20 parts of his land with indigo for his landlord. Gandhiji reached Champaran in April 1970. He started implementing the similar methods of satyagraha that he had used in South Africa. He organized mass uprising by people to protest against injustice. The local authorities did not find his visit welcome. They tried to dissuade Gandhiji from undertaking his inquiry, but Gandhiji determinedly began his work from the house of Babu Gorak Prasad in Motihari headquarters. The commissioner gave him an ultimatum to depart Champaran at Motihari. Gandhiji refused to leave Champaran and said, "As a law-abiding citizen, my first instinct would be as it was to obey the order served on me, but I could not do so. I disregarded the order served upon me, not for want of respect for lawful authority, but in obedience to the higher of law of our being the voice of conscience."
The Lieutenant Governor of Bihar ordered the withdrawal of the case against Gandhiji. The government subsequently appointed a commission to investigate the cultivators' claims. Gandhiji accepted to serve on the committee after being asked. As a result, the Champaran Agrarian Bill was passed within a few months. Gandhiji led non-violent rallies against landlords and plantations. The government agreed to dismantle the thin Katya system. They gave compensation to the peasants.
The Jallianwala Bagh massacre is a crucial scar etched in the memory of Indian history. The trigger was the Rowlatt Act of 1990. The British Indian government decided to imprison any person without trial or conviction. Gandhiji opposed the law and launched the Rowlatt Satyagraha. Gandhiji gave a call for a nationwide Hartal on 6 April 1990. The people responded with unprecedented enthusiasm. In Amritsar, the strike was led by Dr. Satyapal, Dr. Saifuddin Kichlu, Chaudhry Bagman, and Mahasha Ratanchai. Dr. Satyapal and Dr. Kichlu were subsequently arrested to suppress the protest. Hindu, Muslim, and Sikh people were celebrating Baisakhi together in Jallianwala Bagh in Amritsar. A large unarmed crowd had gathered at the Bagh to protest against the arrest of their popular leaders. General Dyer, the military commander of Amritsar, decided to terrorize the people of Amritsar into complete submission. Dyer surrounded the Bagh with his army unit, closed the only exit, and ordered to shoot into the trapped crowd with rifles and machine guns. More than 1,650 bullets were fired, 389 deaths were caused, and more than 1,200 injured. Rabindranath Tagore renounced his knighthood in protest.
In 1940, Sardar Udham Singh killed Michael Dyer in the General Assembly.
When provinces in India increasingly came under British rule, the British imposed a tax on Indian salt. They passed a series of salt laws and raised the price of Indian salt. This made it difficult for Indians, especially to the poor people, to buy salt. The salt laws made it illegal for Indians to collect, produce, or sell salt. Anyone who produced or sold salt in India outside of the British could be imprisoned for 6 months. Gandhiji and many others found the imposition of the salt tax and the restrictions on salt production unfair. They decided to protest against them. Gandhiji said, next to air and water, salt is perhaps the greatest necessity of life. Salt is important for food to have its taste. Gandhiji organized a salt march from the Gandhiji Ashram in Ahmedabad to the seaside village of Dandi in the south of Gujarat. It started on the 12th of March 1930 with Gandhiji and 78 people. They not only fought against unfair laws, but also for Indian freedom from British rule. Along the 240 miles from Ahmedabad to Dandi, thousands of people from all over India joined the march to protest against British rule, the high salt taxes, and the unfairness of not being allowed to produce and sell their own salt.
Gandhiji and his followers walked about 12 miles a day and reached Dandi in 3 weeks. He called it a battle of right against might. At the end of the march, Gandhiji picked up some grains of salt from the seashore and took a pledge. With these crystals of salt, I am going to shake the foundation of the British Empire. With the Dandi March, Gandhiji launched the civil disobedience movement against the British Empire. Following the Salt March, 80,000 Indians along with Gandhiji were jailed. But the British administration eventually relented and invited Gandhiji to London to discuss reforms in India. Gandhiji's Salt March got wide news coverage and proved to be a turning point in the history of Indian independence movement that led to independence in 1947.
Part of the Indian independence movement and contributed to the development of Indian nationalism. Before the BML government's decision for the partition of Bengal was made public in December 1903, there was a lot of growing discontentment among the Indians. In response, the Swadeshi movement was formally started from Town Hall at Kolkata on 7th August 1905 to curb foreign goods by relying on domestic production. Mahatma Gandhi described it as the soul of Swaraj. The movement took its vast size and shape after rich Indians donated money and land dedicated to Khadi and Gramodyog societies, which started cloth production in every household. It also included other village industries so as to make the village self-sufficient and self-reliant. The Indian National Congress used this movement as an arsenal for its freedom struggle, and ultimately on 15th August 1947, a hand-spun Khadi tricolor Ashoka Chakra Indian flag was unfurled at Prince's Park near India Gate, New Delhi.
India's journey before independence was marked by struggle, sacrifice, and resilience. The country's rich cultural heritage, diverse traditions, and strong sense of national identity helped to fuel the fight for freedom. As we reflect on this pivotal period of Indian history, we honor the memory of the freedom fighters, revolutionaries, and ordinary citizens who contributed to the independence movement. Their bravery, vision, and determination paved the way for modern India, a nation that continues to strive for justice, equality, and prosperity for all its citizens. Let us draw inspiration from India's past as we work towards building a brighter, more inclusive future for ourselves and for generations to come.